Okay, I'm going to take you to CompTIA and show you how to get the certification objectives. Right? So here you go to CompTIA.org, and I'm going to go right down here and click on this one. Okay, now see, so it might come up just like this and show you this information right here if you're interested, but that's up to you. I don't have that right now, so I can't tell you anything about it. It does cost money, so I have not bought it. However, if I want to take a look at the certifications, hover up this way, and then right now I'm going to look at Cloud Essentials, so I'll click on that, and under Cloud Essentials you'll see all the information that relates to what you need in order to study to pass the Cloud Essentials test. If you have a computer background, if you want computer as in behind the scenes background on how computers talk to each other, how they relate and are used in business, things like that, this might be something you'd be interested in. You could also be, if you pass this test in particular, it could possibly, I would believe, help you with maybe an administration type of role in order to get your foot in the door, if that's what you'd want to do. But the more you study business related information on how businesses are run and how cloud systems can be helpful in business, then the more you understand what you're reading here and how to prepare, and the more you learn as to whether you're interested in doing this type of career. So here, we're going to take a look at this. Let me go down through here and I'll show you there are two tests. They have Cloud Essentials, which is just basic education, and then they have Cloud Plus, which has some extra advanced education in the cloud system. I only use Google Cloud because that's accessible. I don't use Amazon, IBM, Microsoft, or any other cloud system except Google. So that's the only one that I would be working with. There may be other videos that work with other systems, but so here we go. You can take a look at this, and if you look down through here, and this is how you get the objectives. Now I'm not going to fill all this out right now on screen. What you will do is you will put your first name, last name, email. Yes, you do have to do this to get the objectives. And your job description. I just put IT professional. I mean, you could put student if you like. If you're a veteran, you can put veteran. And then if you're interested in the practice questions, I take everything. Practice questions, exam objectives, all of it. And, you could say you're currently training, or whatever you like to put here. Whatever relates to your circumstance. But don't worry, it's not, set in stone. Life happens. Then you could, tell them you'd be interested. And this is for basic statistics for them. You don't have to worry about whether, you may or may not be able to do that in 2 months or whatever. No big pressure. And then you submit it, and then they'll show you the exam objectives, and you'll be able to download it. Meanwhile, here it shows the price of this particular exam. If you're able to save this much, and there are 10% off most prices you can find somewhere, you can get a reduction in price, so it's even less than that, which can be pretty good. getting yourself in the door somewhere as an entry-level cloud administration type of position, I would think. So here are all the types of information that's in the Cloud Essentials. They have suggestion on different types of training. I do self-training, and I use online resources and my own background in order to learn everything I learn here. And then they have other information here you could take a look at. Now, I have the objectives right here. Let me see if I can get it on the screen correctly. Alright. I did show it briefly in the other video, but I'm going to show it again in this video. A lot better than in the other one. Okay. So if you want to follow along with me, whoops, it does kind of, there we go. I'll make it as large as I can here. One thing that really bothers me is teeny tiny print on every single website on the web. And that's because the resolution is so high on monitors and screens. Well, the higher you have the resolution, the lower the font, and that's terrible. So, for instance, on my website, skybits.com, SKYBITS, I have the font higher so that you can actually read it. But on these other ones, like right now, I have this set at 200% in order to read it. And this is a PDF file that I, took off of CompTIA right there. I downloaded it. And still, the font size is so tiny. And this is a pretty good size monitor here, but this is the best I can do. So, on your own system, you'll have to adjust it to your reading ability and do the best you can. Or you can print it out as well. Okay, so when you go through all of this, you'll check out this type of information, and it tells you everything you need to know in order to pass the exam, what you need to study, and how you need to relate to the information that's going to be into the exam. That's really what this is about, how to relate to all the information in the exam. If you understand what they're talking about, it's kind of second nature to you. You can study enough to know what they're talking about. Great. Then you're ready to feel comfortable with the material. Okay. Now these are all the objectives, one by one. And what we're going to do, oops, sorry about that. What we're going to do is go all the way down just to take a brief look at this. I'm going to move this over a little bit to the edge so you can see. And we're just going to go all the way through it just to take a quick look. For this particular video, we're going to take just a nice quick look at it, and then we'll go through these one by one. And I want you to know what's in the objectives, how it's listed inside the objectives. Now let me move this over. Here we go. Sorry about that. Alright. Oh boy. So, see? That's the end of it right there. If I bring it down just a little bit, 195. Oops. 195. Hit enter. It brings it down a little bit. Alright, let me see. 193. If I highlight it, type the number in, press enter. It's still not 192 and 191. It's really tough. 190. There, that's the best we can do. That's all the way at the end of the line on both sides. Okay. So I'm going to scroll down. This is the first section. These are all the objectives in the first section. And don't be overwhelmed by all the objectives. It's okay. Just relax. Take a deep breath. Ah, look at that. They have this edge kind of over there, but you're not missing anything. Alright, all the way down. And you know, you could just look up these words in general terms and you understand them. I trust that you are very smart and computer savvy and understand what they're talking about. It's very important just to feel comfortable with the material. It's easier to relax and study if you feel more comfortable. Alright, here's section 3. Section 4. Excuse me. Section 5. And then we have section 6. And then we have all the acronyms. Now what I'm going to do, I'm going to expand this up a bit. Let's put it at 400. Okay? So here's an example of the acronyms that are used in cloud computing. This is a basic knowledge of the terminology that you will commonly refer to when it comes to cloud computing. Here we go. Start at the top again. Here we go. And some of these will overlap into other areas in computers, which is pretty common. So the more you know about one area in relation to under the hood of computers and technology, then the more you'll understand other areas. Basically, if you have a really good common sense type of view and understanding in the world, then you will be able to get through this without a problem. The only thing I can say is that what was really most difficult for me, challenging I guess, is coming out of college. And you know, I barely was out of college and all of a sudden the terminology of everything changed and I didn't know what they were talking about. But in reality, we're talking about the same thing I already learned and knew by, you know, as good as the back of my hand. It's just so when terminology changes, don't get stressed. It is challenging. Just type the word up in the search and look and see what it is, and before you know it, you'll be like, oh, I learned that already. That's called, you know, whatever other term, and you know that one term relates to the other term, and you already know what it's about, so that'll be no problem. I just want people to feel confident and not worry and realize that you can do it. Okay, let's go back to the top. And I'm going to change this back to 200. And I'm going to move this over. And we're going to end right here. So basically that's what the CompTIA Cloud Essentials Certification Exam Objectives is all about. This is the exam number, and this is how you get to it. There you go. Alright, and we shall see you in the next video. Thank you.